and to Karthik 2012. The internet arrived just as I was finishing my undergraduate education at university, and already my younger peers in their 30s now, they would be in their 40s obviously now, were better prepared for the world we exist in today, the digital generation. My generation, the pre-internet baccalaureates, are one of the fastest shrinking groups of humanity, those who received a college degree or university education without the existence of the internet. Forever, pre-internet baccalaureates will be the last of what came before from the slower, quieter, less crowded world sans digital devices and the World Wide Web. For the purposes of definition, I propose the digital generation begins in 1993 with the standardization of the TCP/IP protocols. So 93. Most of us have, of course, absorbed the internet and lots of peripheral tech into our education now. And we stumble along using the tools given to us by Silicon Valley social engineers in amazing ways with handheld devices 100 times a day. Our children and the generations that follow have become guides to absorbing the transition to digital tech. In 2005, a Japanese mother of two young adults at that time that I interviewed in Narita Airport, so this is in 2005, her two young sons were in their late teens, beginning their 20s. And she told me that many Japanese actually refer to the children of the digital age as a, quote, new species, Shin Jinri, because of their facility with computers. A new species of human. That interview was one of a series called The First Contact Project. You can listen to that. I interviewed all different kinds of people from different places of different ages and about the first time that they interacted with a computer in an attempt to get a snapshot of the first contact with the machines, if you will. And she was one of them, a 51-year-old mother of two sons raised in Japan and in Northern California. So with the expansion of the digital divide, I propose a Western equivalent of that Japanese phrase using a Latin taxonomy. Homo sapiens digitalis. Today we consider human beings, Homo sapiens sapiens, to be the only living species of the genus Homo. Wiki tells us that in 2003, scientists defined the 1997 findings of Tim White in Ethiopia of Homo sapiens idaltu as an extinct subspecies of Homo sapiens that lived almost 160,000 years ago in Pleistocene Africa. Homo sapiens idaltu was to describe the divide between us and this species that was so similar to us yet went extinct. Idaltu is from the African Saho Afar language. It's a word meaning, quote, elder or firstborn, close quote, Homo sapiens idaltu. So if future generations look back upon our disconnected pre-internet society and see it as backward, naturally, we need defining terminology to describe the divide. The term digitalis has numerous meanings that apply here, from fingers to digital technology, in defining the generations to come as advanced from us. People using digital technology have fast become a part of almost every career, society, community, a corporation, and culture. And if evolution holds, the inevitable death and transfiguration of Homo sapiens sapiens and the rise of Homo sapiens digitalis will be total. Many Homo sapiens sapiens will die off, others will evolve into Homo sapiens digitalis. Anyone can study digital technology and move from sapiens to digitalis. But indeed, we have learned it is easiest if this education is begun at an earlier age, and of course, with all the privileges of the wealthy nations. Which brings us back to the lonely generation at the end of the previous era, the pre internet baccalaureates. Among the pre internet baccalaureates, Homo sapiens sapiens, we find unusual relationships designed from facility with digital tech during the era of its creation. These are types, I guess. I was trying to write this. This is 8 years ago. I'm defining Homo sapiens digitalis, the future human being. Marriages in which one partner is tech savvy and the other not so, preferring to yield the tech responsibility to the other partner. Communal groups in which a single friend is highly skilled. These are the famous early adopters, who then teach the others to engage in a particular tech. Bellwether users who guide others around them. One elder in a retirement community, for example, helps others by using the net in communities where people are uncomfortable with new tech. The argument that we are not a different species from our children lies squarely on the fact that obviously Homo sapiens sapiens and Homo sapiens digitalis can intermarry and breed. But note that while this is true, it is rare that offspring of such unions remain sapiens sapiens. And thus is born Homo sapiens digitalis, the final species of the genus Homo. And now, the Japanese mother who I referred to earlier, who said the Japanese had begun referring to their children as a new species, Shin Jin Rui. This is in Narita Airport at the airport bar.
My sons are age 20 and 18 now. I took them to computer class here in the United States, and they were born and raised here. Their age were, I would say, 4 and 2, or maybe 5 and 3. So that was the closest, I mean, my encounter uh, with computer. Let's see. So 20 minus 5 is what? 15 years ago from now. So 1990, right? And we did not have any computers at home until 1990 because of this kids' interest in a computer. First computer we bought was Macintosh. And then since that Macintosh, 1990, up until now, I think we have 7, 8, constantly buying newer computers. I am a teacher, self-employed language teacher, and I do translating occasionally and then interpreting, oral interpreting. So I used word processor periodically, but I'm not still not that much computer person, but I witnessed this 5-year-old who is now 20, 3-year-old who is now 18, sort of shedding one computer after another computer after another computer. Back to that computer, kids' computer class, it's just they're doing games. They did not teach them how to, I mean, mechanical things or anything. But they started there. They did not take any classes or any lessons or typing classes or anything, but computers are part of them right now. Of course, the computer was not monster or machines or hard thing, difficult to understand concept that they had. Their concept was fun, game. They had no fear at all, and they were shown few things, and they started playing by themselves, age 3 and 5. But I wasn't that fast. Well, this and then next probably this and that. So when I was it took me so much time to understand how to use how it functions.
Let's talk about your first memory that you have.
That was 2 years ago. Don't laugh. That was 2 years ago. My son graduated from high school, and I live in California, and he was moving to Annapolis, the East Coast. And so, Mom, it's time to learn to do email. And he taught me. That's my computer. And I can do basic stuff, but it's not much. But not myself. I'm still mother and then witnessed these two boys growing up. My point is that the they nobody taught them how to do it. They found out by themselves. They went out what they need to buy what they needed, maybe through friends and this and that. And then funny thing is, I ask the younger one now who is heading to college, well, before you go to college, you teach me a little bit more. But it's hard for me, not hard, but it's for him so frustrating to show me, guide me, to teach me how to use computers.
Did your family in Japan use computers much?
I have one younger sister. I have two brothers. One of the brothers, and then this younger sister, they have a computer. My younger sister functions just my level. We do emailing each other. But my one of the brothers, he has to use it because he's the public employee, and he is using the computer every day. And then back to the kids, his daughter and son are just like my sons, similar age. So nobody taught them, but they just emerged with this. So in Japanese expression, these are new species, totally different from us.
How do you say? There's a Japanese phrase for that?
Shin Jinrui. Jinrui is the species, and then Shin is new. So totally different group of people. As far as this computer or technology. Takako Smith. I'm Japanese, living in Sacramento, California, and I'm age 56 and moved from Japan to the United States 25, almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, Takako Smith. So that was one of these interviews in the project, the First Contact Project. And in it, she began this notion for me of thinking of a word for the new species. And the word our society has landed upon is millennials, which doesn't work at all for me. It's idiotic and means nothing. MM is a nothing, as I've said from the day they announced it, if you will. MM is a nothing. So I authored 8 years ago a term that I think works quite well. Homo sapiens digitalis. And it's brought to you by a group that's the fastest shrinking group on Earth, to which I belong, the pre-internet baccalaureates. Homo sapiens digitalis.